Greetings, and welcome back to 21st Century Dating Decoded, the official Speed Mingle Podcast. I am your host, Dawn, and today we are undertaking a detailed examination of a subject that has not merely proliferated across my direct messages, but has also become a persistent source of friction in contemporary social discourse. Let us consider the prevailing modern consumer paradigm. Our society is fundamentally structured around the expectation of next-day delivery and the effortless execution of the instant cancellation mechanism should a premium product or service fail to meet an immediate standard. For instance, an incorrectly prepared meal. The instinct is not to engage in a remediation process with the provider, but rather to document the discrepancy, secure a full reimbursement, and procure a replacement. Similarly, upon even a marginal decline in performance from a high-end device, troubleshooting is bypassed in favor of immediately pursuing the newest iteration promising superior functionality. This phenomenon is what we term the, quote, upgrade culture, and deeply rooted reliance on flawless, low-effort experience and ready substitution. This prompts the critical inquiry we must address. What are the consequences when this identical zero-tolerance, high replacement metric is inadvertently transferred to our approach to romantic and relational partners? When confronted with a minor imperfection, a subtle divergence in communication protocol, or the necessary effort required for mutual understanding, do we automatically disregard the individual in favor of the next available profile in the seemingly infinite digital queue? Today, we will rigorously analyze the implications of disposable relationships, the defining contradiction of modern courtship. Our discussion will cover the insidious grass is greener syndrome, that perpetual impulse to seek a marginally superior alternative, thereby precluding genuine investment in the partnership at hand. We shall explore the profound psychological impact of the continuous selection process, the constant comparative analysis that engenders perpetual dissatisfaction, and, most critically, the actionable steps required to cease treating complex, nuanced potential partners as if they were ephemeral seasonal commodities, items consumed once and discarded when their momentary appeal wanes. Is the current state of modern dating fundamentally compromised? Or have we collectively lost sight of the essential virtues of patience, compromise, and the deliberate commitment to cultivating a connection that is not instantly perfect? Let us systematically decode this challenge and begin the process of mutual accountability. In this episode, Deconstructing the Disposable Mindset, the Commitment Paradox of Abundance, we will delve into the cognitive underpinnings of why the availability of thousands of potential partners on a constant digital loop paradoxically complicates the process of true investment and commitment to a single individual. This is the burden of the near-perfect option, the evasion of formal closure, moving beyond the obvious act of ghosting. We will scrutinize the subtle but emotionally damaging modern practice of relationship termination, or the utter lack thereof, wherein individuals do not formally conclude the relationship, but instead execute a gradual fade-out, leaving the recipient in a state of confusion and self-doubt. Strategies for relational durability. This constitutes the central thesis of our solution. We will articulate concrete methodologies for shifting internal relational metrics from a disposable framework, prioritizing maximum convenience, to a sustainable framework, one centered on emotional resilience, shared developmental growth, and enduring relational value. Before we get started, I encourage you, the listener, to prepare your refreshment, settle deeply into your environment, and reflect upon this challenging question. Have you ever experienced the sense of being a placeholder, a temporary fixture in another person's life trajectory while they awaited a perceived superior match? Conversely, have you ever subjected another individual to this treatment? It is imperative that we confront this reality. Please prepare yourself. The conversation is about to commence. The foundational elements of enduring partnerships, specifically the core values of loyalty, perseverance, and mutual sacrifice, are experiencing rapid systemic erosion. This decline is a direct consequence of modern society's pervasive emphasis on immediate gratification, hyper-efficiency, and effortless convenience. The fundamental dilemma confronting contemporary romantic relationships is no longer the challenge of sourcing a desirable partner, but rather the profound difficulty of cultivating and sustaining the requisite emotional resilience and capacity to maintain that connection once it has been established and inevitably matures beyond its initial stage of excitement. From remediation to replacement, the trade-in culture of romance, a profound and detrimental cultural transformation has occurred in the approach to relational difficulties. The traditional fix-it mentality, which championed remediation, effort, and permanence as essential virtues, has been largely superseded by a pragmatic and detached trade-in culture. The necessary, often challenging dedication required to patiently repair a bond, to navigate conflict and emerge strengthened, has been supplanted by an easy, almost automatic inclination toward replacement. Within this new paradigm, commitments are increasingly divested of their inherent sanctity and instead regarded functionally as interchangeable, disposable commodities, analogous to subscription services that can be canceled or upgraded upon the first indication of friction or dissatisfaction. The illusion of infinite choice and the paradox of choice, the single most potent psychological driver of relationship disposability, is the perceived burden of unlimited options, overwhelmingly facilitated by the architecture of modern dating technology. As relationship psychologist Dr. Elena Vance astutely observes, society is collectively experiencing the paradox of choice, applied directly to the most intimate domain of human life. Devaluation of the present connection, when individuals operate under the belief that a perfect, effortless, or more compatible match is merely a simple swipe or click away, the psychological motivation to engage in compromise, patience, and realistic adjustment with a current partner drastically diminishes. The constant influx of potential mates fundamentally and corrosively erodes the perceived and actual value of the present relationship, thereby transforming it into a provisional arrangement. The diminished cost of leaving and normalization of solipsism, relationships have become socially and emotionally ephemeral because the traditional social, financial, and logistical cost of leaving has dramatically decreased. Modern economic and social independence, particularly for women, has effectively minimized the historical deterrence to separation. While this independence constitutes a critical social good, its shadow effect is the normalization of serial monogamy and the elevation of solo living as the default, non-problematic choice, frequently resulting in relationships that lack the necessary anchors of enduring commitment. 3 primary factors undermining relational perseverance. The optimization imperative, partner as commodity. Modern culture implicitly, and frequently explicitly, demands an impossibly optimized partner, a perfect, flawless composite of intellectual companion, passionate lover, insightful mentor, and reliable financial guide. This expectation is often unconsciously influenced by the idealized, curated, and highly deceptive social media portrayals of love. This utilitarian assessment labels partners as fundamentally flawed or inadequate if they fail to perfectly fulfill even one of these specialized categories, causing the intrinsic, complex, and holistic worth of the relationship to be routinely overlooked in favor of a superficial checklist. Diminished tolerance for mundanity and tranquility. The human mind is now perpetually conditioned for the rapid-fire stimulation of digital environments, rendering individuals profoundly uncomfortable with slowness and stillness. Consequently, individuals frequently mistake the secure, natural plateau phase, the necessary, quiet tranquility of a long-term bond that signifies genuine security, for the extinction of passion. Yet, genuine profound intimacy necessitates emotional tranquility and secure attachment, a state that modern life is aggressively programmed to avoid in favor of continuous, fleeting dopamine stimulation. The ascendancy of self-actualization and the therapy speak excuse. Contemporary cultural narrative elevates personal autonomy, individual growth, and self-actualization as the highest moral goods, a form of emotional solipsism. Consequently, any relational friction, necessary compromise, or significant emotional effort is often immediately and superficially characterized using therapeutic jargon as toxic, draining, or impeding growth. This tendency leads to the abandonment of the relationship simply because the bond is challenging or requires maturity, not because it is genuinely harmful or broken. The deterioration of slow virtues in intimacy. Sustaining a partnership requires the cultivation of slow emotional competencies that are visibly diminishing across the population. Radical patience, sophisticated conflict resolution skills, and the capacity for delayed gratification. As experienced marriage counselor Marcus Thorne highlights, too many individuals discard an imperfect, yet fundamentally sound connection because the sheer effort required to refine it is perceived as excessive and not worth the emotional investment, leading them to choose the immediate appearance of happiness found in a new, exciting connection over the profound, lasting achievement of a resilient, refined partnership. The emerging counter-movement, intentionality and slow romance. A resilient and critical slow romance movement is emerging as a direct, conscious response to this culture of disposability, mirroring the philosophical principles of the slow food paradigm. This trend champions the antithesis of the trade-in culture, emphasizing deep emotional investment, transparent intentionality, and a commitment to processing reality. Relationship candor and realistic portrayals. Couples participating in this movement are actively working to destigmatize the difficult, often messy reality of commitment by openly sharing their uncertainties, struggles, and successful compromises. This candor is emerging even on platforms that traditionally only feature curated perfection, serving as a vital corrective to the illusion that love should be effortless. The profound paradox of our contemporary era is this: while technology and culture render emotional abandonment easier and more justifiable than at any point in history, the innate human need for the security, stability, and enduring connection of a committed, long-term bond remains fundamentally unchangeable. The definitive, defining choice for the modern individual is whether to chase the seductive, yet ultimately fleeting, illusion of the new and perfect match, or to embrace the difficult, patient, and deeply rewarding skill of refining the imperfect, human connection already present in their life. This conclusion of the discussion on disposable relationships acknowledges that while the contemporary swipe-right paradigm offers a theoretically infinite array of options, it frequently fails to facilitate profound relational fulfillment. The inherent paradox of choice often results in individuals feeling like interchangeable components within a digital framework, thereby obfuscating their unique pursuit of genuine connectivity. Key principles for modern relationship management. Substance over mere expediency. The ease of locating a potential partner does not correlate with the facility of establishing a substantive relationship. Prioritize resilience over avoidance. The truly discerning choice in the modern context is frequently to collaboratively navigate relational complexity rather than immediately pursuing an alternative exit strategy. Intrinsic value proposition. An individual's inherent worth is determined by their authenticity, not by the performance metrics of an algorithmic matching system. Individuals should ensure that the pervasive digital discourse does not supersede internal guidance. In an era characterized by disposability, the prioritization of permanence constitutes a significant strategic advantage. Prior to engaging a new connection, the reflective question should be posed: is the objective a transient experience or an enduring relational milestone? Maintain resolution. Maintain integrity. Continue to engage. Now a few words about our host and sponsor of the 21st Century Dating Decoded podcast. Introducing Speed Mingle, the efficient frontier of relationship acquisition. Speed Mingle is strategically positioned to redefine the relational landscape by presenting the efficient frontier, a comprehensive suite of modalities engineered to maximize genuine relational connection while concurrently minimizing inherent risk. We transition users beyond undirected digital engagement toward the establishment of substantive relationships through structured, intentional methodologies. Speed Mingle is currently transforming digital courtship through 4 distinct, intentional, and efficient modalities. Speed Mingle Anywhere, available now, facilitates authentic, face-to-face video interactions from a user's private setting, overcoming the limitations of anonymous swiping. Speed Mingle Social, launching this week in select markets, offers relaxed, non-hosted weekly gatherings at established local venues for spontaneous, informal connections. Speed Mingle Happenings, in real-life events happening now in your area. These meticulously curated, dynamic, activity-based events are designed to foster natural engagement without reliance on conventional small talk. Speed Mingle One-to-One, launching spring 2026, provides personalized, low-pressure meetings with local singles whose pre-vetted interests ensure an efficient route toward foundational compatibility. Our institutional commitment is to offer diverse asset classes for emotional capital investment, thereby mitigating over-reliance on any singular relational strategy. We provide a bespoke approach accommodating every relational preference, encompassing our premier digital platform, a curated experiential event, a personalized consultative meeting, or a spontaneous social assembly. A successful relational portfolio is predicated upon intentionality and the achievement of genuine connectivity. Are you prepared to formalize your participation? Kindly follow and subscribe to ensure comprehensive access to all future episodes on the following platforms: podcast distribution channels, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio. The transmittal of this link will yield positive returns for their future relational endeavors. Finally, secure your attendance at a forthcoming Speed Mingle event within your geographical area. Take the proactive measure. Engage, align, and interact to optimize your social portfolio. We extend our sincere gratitude for your viewership of 21st Century Dating Decoded. Until our next episode, remain judicious, maintain appropriate discretion, and always engage in relationship seeking with a clearly defined objective.
Thank you for listening
and watching on the new Speed Mingle TV Network.